Saw 63.
'78, when dreams came true or dreams crumbled. Moments when new stars were born, even as fading stars finally winked out. We'll see scenes of celebration and sorrow. And most of all, we'll see action. From Ali versus Spinks to Affirm versus Aludar. From the World Series to the World Cup. We'll see the NBA playoffs and the NCAA finals. Stars like Jack Gibbon, Curt Thomas, Nancy Lopez, and Mario Andretti. And with some, we'll get up close in special talks with Wes Unseld, Jack Nicklaus, and Larry Holmes. And to help with the storytelling will be Larry Merchant, Len Berman, and Len Dawson. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Now, offhand, I don't recall who said it, but he certainly could have been talking about the past year in baseball. It took 2,116 games to establish the status quo of our national pastime in 1978. When it was over, there had been numerous changes, yet results were about the same. The New York Yankees were again champions of the world. The validity of their claim to being the world champs was challenged in court by a bemused prison inmate who argued that the Yankees played only teams from this country. However, owner George Steinbrenner succinctly noted, "Hey, we beat everyone that showed up." Though much stayed the same, getting from here to there made for a downright exciting year. Perhaps Cincinnati's Pete Rose gave us the single most outstanding remembrance of the season past. The turbulence caused by his torn bat was considerable as he launched an all-out assault on Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Fans came by the thousands to urge Pete on, to grab a little piece of history. Every day brought new tensions, new pressures to Rose, and still the Gatling gun barrage of hits continued. A hit in his 38th consecutive game wiped out the modern National League record set by Tommy Holmes of the Boston Braves back in 1945. Pete has switch hit, slashed, bunted, and beat them out. A man alone, chasing a singular vision. On August 1st, with a string at 44, the Reds were in Atlanta now, and it was the 9th inning, and Pete Rose was still hitless. It was his last gasp attempt. Braves pitcher Gene Garber stymied Pete on a changeup, and all too simply, it was over. With that strikeout, a little bit of baseball's excitement went out also. At season's end, the Phillies got champagne ready because for the 3rd year in a row, they were about to clinch the National League Eastern crown over the Pirates. Unfortunately for Philly, the celebration was short-lived because once again in the playoffs, the Los Angeles Dodgers handed them their hats and sent them home to Philadelphia to spend a winter of wondering. In the American League, Boston's Jim Rice blistered baseballs as if there were no tomorrow. For 46 of those baseballs, there wasn't. Jim led both leagues in home runs, triples, RBIs, total bases, and slugging percentage. Naturally, he was the American League most valuable player. Meanwhile, the Red Sox lead in the American League East seemed insurmountable. With over 100 games gone, they were 14 games ahead. And where were the Yankees? Dissension-riddled, roiling with animosity. The once and future kings toiled in mediocrity. By their own admission, they had about as much chance at a comeback as the dinosaurs. Ron Guidry was luminescent for the New Yorkers. He won his first 13 games and finished at 25-3 for the highest winning percentage of any 20-game winner in baseball history. Ron was a unanimous choice for the American League Cy Young Award.
You know, a lot of people think Billy and I are...
But even Guidry's amazing season could not overshadow the absurdist dialogue that passed between Yankee owner George Steinbrenner and manager Billy Martin. It was public, it was commercial, it was soap opera and high comedy. But Steinbrenner had the final word when he said...
George, Billy?
Yeah, George.
You were fired.
Oh, not again. I don't want to hurt this team's chances for the pennant. With this undue publicity, the team has a shot at the pennant, and I hope they win it. I owe it to my health and my mental well-being to resign.
Everybody makes mistakes. And I said, he may have made a mistake. Maybe I made a mistake back at a certain time, and that's why he said what he did concerning election contribution. So I worked it out with his agent to bring Billy back. It was their desire to have him not return until 1980, not mine. They felt that he needed the time to rest and get himself back together. And
to take all the absurdity one step further into lunacy, Billy Martin was rehired to replace manager Bob Lemon in 1980. New York fans loved it all. They are beyond shocking. On September 7th, the Yankees, under Bob Lemon, entered Fenway trailing the aching, slumping Red Sox by a mere 4 games. With a barrage that would have made the Blitzkrieg look like a penny arcade shooting gallery, the New Yorkers shelled Boston 15-3, 13-2, and 7-4. The series was dubbed the Boston Massacre. Even the staunchest Red Sox rooter thought the name was an understatement. The Yankees took the lead in the East, but on the last day of the season, after a dramatic chase, the Yankees lost to Cleveland, while the Red Sox were winning against Toronto. Both clubs were 99-63. A one-game playoff would settle it all. Tension was almost palpable in the air. Carl Yastrzemski sent the crowd soaring when he homered off Guidry in the 2nd inning. Later in the game, Bucky Dent, the 9th batter in the New York rotation, came to the plate with 2 men on. It wasn't much of a hit, but at Fenway, it was a home run, which proved that those who live by the wall die by the wall. The Red Sox trailed 5-4, and in the 9th, it all came down to Yaz. 2 out, tying run on 3rd. The ball went up, and the hearts of most New Englanders sank. The Red Sox' valiant pennant run had ended 90 feet short of the finish. After that game, the Yankees of '78 became as brutally devastating as the world champion Yankees of 1977. They stood haughty, imperious, as he disposed of the Kansas City Royals in 4 games to win the American League pennant. Meanwhile, in the National League playoffs, the Los Angeles Dodgers did away with the Phillies in an equally easy manner. LA had lost to the Yankees in the 1977 World Series, and this one would be played for revenge as well as pride. But even more than that, the Dodgers had dedicated this series to their coach, Jim Gilliam, number 19, who had recently died. The first 2 games were in Los Angeles, and the Dodgers seemed all heart, muscle, and emotion as they pounded out 11-5 and 4-2 victories. The Yankees were home, and Greg Nettles played third base as well as it has ever been played by any man. The Yankees won as Nettles, by some estimates, stopped 7 Dodger runs single-handedly. The fourth game was a fulcrum, the turning point. A small controversy surrounding Reggie Jackson on this play could not mar his finest, if not most spectacular series. In the end, it was the Yankees again, the team in toto, street smart, and pressure tested. The series stood even at 2. In Game 5, the Yankees ripped out 18 hits, 16 of them singles, as they wasted Los Angeles 12-2. The final game was anticlimactic as the Yankees glided to a 7-2 win and another world championship. They overcame a 14-game deficit and internal turmoil. They beat the Royals for a pennant, the Dodgers for a World Series. You may love the Yankees or hate them, but you can never say they did not deserve to be champions of the world in 1978. Perhaps the all-time sports headline maker is the man named Muhammad Ali. Again in 1978, his name dominated the boxing scene, for he's a uniquely outrageous man who has transcended his sport by fashioning an immense legend out of neon lights that proclaim to all the world, "I am the greatest." For now he is. But even without Ali, boxing in 1978 would have enjoyed